On this channel, we've covered every single battle theme that's existed in Genshin Impact, and today is no exception. Listening to the Arlecchino boss theme. Here we go. Oh wow, that's so awesome. Oh my gosh, we get that Fatui semblance there. So it's always really interesting to me when we use children's choir, because children's choir has innocence in it. Children's choir is about the feeling of hope and possibility and dreams of the future and what's to come. And it also, it's interesting here because it starts really plaintively and really somberly. It starts based on a memory. It starts on a memory of the past, especially when you first listen. It's a single low alto soprano boy singer, and it's really nice when the harmony comes in there too, because it symbolizes the main character entered and surrounded by the other members of this House of the Hearth in this particular case. Listen. And there's a really nice subtle thing there where we do have a crescendo. And then it's fun because we go right? Love that crunch. And then the strings come in. That's fun because then we start to get the doom, boom, 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 boom. That pulsation creates the sense of tension, creates a sense of fear, creates a sense of nervousness. And what's really fun underneath is that we get this ding, 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 like a ticking clock, coupled with that nice string movement there. Ooh. Dun, 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 dun. Bunch of dissonance. And I wonder if the ticking clock feeling I wonder if that symbolizes our ticking clock, the end of life as we know it, the sense of anger that emerges. I mean, the thing is about Arlecchino is that there's so much pent-up aggression and pent-up anger and pent-up sadness that has to go somewhere. And in this case, it goes towards us, against us, right? And so in this particular piece, we instantly are transported back to that trauma of being an orphan at the House of the Hearth and what that means, and having to kill and compete for, the position of father, if I recall correctly, and compete with what it means to, have a friend and then have to kill them because that's the messed up things that we're forced to do. A lot of that trauma has to go somewhere. And in this particular case, musically, it goes towards us as the player, but we hear that ticking clock in there. Wow. Again, nice staccato here. Oh yes, that piano. Oh my god, I love this piano. I love this jazz improvisatory thing where it's like it's like anger bubbling up over the surface, and it's got to spill out somewhere. It's really rich and really deep here. Especially in the piano, that's glorious. Listen to that again. My goodness, that's so much fun. And also notice that there's a swell and the crescendo there musically as well. It's all building up music here. Key change. Oh! Ba-bum. Is that the Fatui theme in there? Ba-bum-bum. Nice cello takes over here. And I think that the cello here represents Arlecchino as an adult. Right? Okay, we're getting that EDM pulsation there, the synth pulsation. Still just a setup here. These are the flames bubbling up. And I love that we get the "For Whom the Bell Tolls" bell chime there. I think this really is relating to the visceral rage and anger of Arlecchino, but Arlecchino is like it's under the surface. And as it starts to bubble up, like I mentioned previously, we get these shifts in mentality where it's like, no, you don't understand. Like, I've suffered so much, and I'm so angry about it, and that anger needs to release, and the organ comes in, which is that very like anti-religious, ominous sound quality in there. You get the little bit of that heartbeat. I think in the end, Arlecchino is just a really traumatized young child. And so you get that heartbeat symbolizing the child, symbolizing like, no, I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm just different, and it's okay. And I just want to be understood. And I'm so upset. And then, yeah, it's really interesting how we never lose sight of that children's chorus. Ooh, lots of sliding in here too. Wow, the organ complements it so well. Nice. Oh my God, that's so cool. The voices merge with the orchestra. It symbolizes, it connects the childhood to the adulthood. And under that Fatui theme, it's when we're embraced by the Fatui. We get that sense of like, I am not alone finally. I am finally able to become the father. I am able to become the person I want to be. I will take names and kick ass. I will fight this anger that I feel inside of me. Finally, having the Fatui as a part of my existence, I am now not alone. The EDM, I'm not a fan of. I'm not. I don't. Why is it there? It doesn't need to be there. This is really Arlecchino's theme of the victim. This is a victim's theme. This isn't victim blaming. This isn't victim shaming. This isn't victimizing. This isn't playing a victim. Arlecchino is a victim of her childhood, of her entire journey from childhood to now, and joining the Fatui Harbingers and all that other stuff. It's all connected to the soundscape. This is not a violent theme. There's an anger, there's a bubbling up, there's a rage in here, but it's not actually about like, it's not about murder, it's not about killing, it's not about rage. It's about loss and sorrow and sadness for not having an out of that terrible situation and wanting to still hold on and be a child, right? But so the synth. Lots of bubbling up in this phase. This phase is really about bubble. Oh, yeah. Shut up. Okay, transformation. What I really like about using the chorus here of children is that it actually sounds pared down slightly. There's a sound quality in here. It's not forceful. It's not pressed. It's not super fortissimo. It actually has a bit of a spatial sound quality to it. It's not. So that would indicate a different soundscape and a different emotional intention there. This, on the other hand, is very heady, very legato, very almost light, a little bit pulled back. So it's less. It's less about revenge, it's less about vengeance, it's less about rage, and more about suffering and like having to fight through that suffering and having to come to conclusions about what your life means through suffering and how to navigate suffering, rather than being a song about, I'm going to kill you, you are my enemy. I think it's more like, I really don't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. Like, this is what I know. This is who I am, you know, even though that's not true. That's based on my condition and based on my conditioning. It's really interesting. More buildup. There's a lot of buildup in this. Tremolo strings. We hear the fire. Big swelling. Pull back into phase 2. Bum, 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 bum. And this is saying, well, I don't have a choice. Sustained sopranos. Half-step movement to showcase anger, to showcase I have to do what I have to do. Get out of my way. That's what we have there with these little incremental half-step movements. That's the sort of like, you have overstayed your welcome. I am not sharing anything else with you. I have told you all I need to tell you. This is the end of our conversation. That's the pointedness that we've been waiting for. I'm really curious to see where we go. Big brass. Florid stringing. That's the fire. So this is a really dialed back experience. There is almost no real peak here. It really does feel like two distinct phases. What I found really interesting about the second phase is that there's a relationship there between and I don't even think that that's a male singer. I actually think that that's a contralto. A contralto is the lowest female voice. That is an extremely rare thing to find. Contraltos are lower than mezzos. They basically have the same range as their male counterparts, as tenors, especially the highest male voice type. So it could have been a tenor. I'm not actually positive, but there's a real richness in that sound quality. And I think that the choice, regardless of the voice type or the voice categorization or classification, that represents the father. That represents the merging of the mother and the father into one being, Arlecchino. It's very, very interesting and very, very cool. It's also very not rangy. It doesn't really go anywhere. It stays in the lower register of the that's as high as it goes, I'm pretty sure. And so what that does is it creates a box. And in that box is where all the pent up aggression and sadness and nuance and style and poise and elegance of Arlecchino exists. And actually, I think that phase 2, the reason why it's not in your face like, say, Scaramouche or Riding Shogun or La Signora is because she has to retain a sense of poise and a sense of elegance. She cannot deviate from this upstanding Fontanian citizen who is controlled. And even though the flames come out and all the stuff that, the scythe and her rage and her vengeance and whatever, she is always elegant. She is never uncouth. She's never, ever unseemly, and she's very structured and very organized because she is the father. And the way I do things at the House of the Hearth is the way those things are going to be done. For you, you will learn to control yourself. You will be orderly. You will be structured. And I think that that's what we get. Did I love the EDM? It's fine. Do I think that that's the direction Genshin should go in? No. Do we know this about me? Yes. Did I enjoy this part? There is a battle here between the mother, the father, and the child. And that's really what this theme is for Arlecchino the entire time. It's about what it means to exist in a world where you've been robbed of an appropriate childhood and you are forced to play by society's rules. And she has to play her part, and she plays it unbelievably well. But inside is always that past memory of who she was and who she hoped she would become. That got robbed from her. And so even though we have this tension, she never loses sight of who she is and who she has to be. That is the structure that's at play here, I think. You can even say that this spoken parlato Sprechstimme section is that, like, I have to keep order. Edlato, baduba. Everything else says baduba. That's not at all what she says. But point is that, like, everything has to be measured. Everything has to be composed. And did I like it? Yes. Was it my favorite? No. I was very grateful to hear it. It was really, really interesting. I love my boss themes. Is it better than La Signora? No. Is it better than Scaramouche? No. It's different, and it's fine, and I liked it. And I'm always going to be a fan of Genshin music. If we go into the EDM thing, I don't know. I don't think it really works for folks that are not part of the Abyss. I think the Abyss stuff is great for EDM. I think that here, what's really cool, there's a trappy section right around here. Big swell. Nice break, and then... This is cool. This is cool. This is like embracing the wings. This is like, let her rip. Let's fight this. Fine, you want to go? Let's go. But it's never really losing itself. And maybe the EDM can be that slipping up and like wanting to step into a rageful state. But in general, she really never does that. So it doesn't necessarily go anywhere. It's a lateral soundscape, which is okay. But I like my music to go like this. I like to go from one thing to a peak and then to a natural resolution. And here we have to stay poised and we have to stay measured the entire time because we cannot let our emotions get the best of us. We cannot be overtaken by our past. And that's the soundscape that comes across here. Nice theme. Can't complain too much. Really, really interesting to see. I saw that Yu Peng Chen was a part of this. In fact, I think he composed it. So that's really cool. And yeah, that's what I thought. I'd love to know what you thought. Thanks a ton, and I'll see you later. Bye.